Hello viewers, this is Ranjana ma'am and you are watching your as well as my channel. And I've got so many requests regarding Act 2 Scene 8 of Merchant of Venice. So here I am. And not only that, before I begin, I will again remind you, as I always do, have you subscribed to my channel? If you haven't, then please do subscribe. And don't forget to press the like button if you have liked it, and at the same time share your videos with my videos with your friends so that it benefits them too. So now, without wasting any more time, let's proceed. Act 2 Scene A, the focus is on Venice. These are the two friends of Antonio, Salarino and Salanio. So in some books it is Solanio and Salario. So just try to follow the dialogues, who is saying what, and try to figure out. So rather I would suggest that you follow the school books, the books which are prescribed by the Icse, because there are many books printed by different publishers. Well, the dialogues are the same, but there is a confusion regarding the names. So Salarino and Salanio, they are discussing about Lorenzo. So Salarino says, "Why man, I saw Bassanio under sail. With him is Graciano gone along. And in their ship, I'm sure Lorenzo is not." So Salarino is confident that Lorenzo is not in the same ship in which Bassanio and Graciano have left for Belmont. So in Bassanio's ship, Graciano is there, but Lorenzo is not there. So why does this topic arise? Because Shylock, once he realizes that his daughter has eloped, he comes to the conclusion that they must have eloped and run away in Bassanio's ship. They must have escaped. So that is why these friends are discussing it. Salanio, the villain Jew with outcries raised the Duke, who went with him to search Bassanio's ship. So what did Shylock do? The villain Jew here refers to Shylock. So what did Shylock do? He went to the Duke and shouted so much in front of his house that the Duke woke up. And then Shylock demands that the Duke should go with him and get Bassanio's ship searched, because he is of the opinion that Lorenzo and Jessica have taken shelter. Lorenzo and Jessica have taken shelter in Bassanio's ship. He came too late. The ship was under sail, but there the Duke was given to understand that in a gondola were seen together Lorenzo and his amorous Jessica. Besides, Antonio certified the Duke they were not with Bassanio in his ship. So the Duke reached the shore along with Shylock very late. By that time, the ship had already started for Belmont. And the people there told that Jessica and Lorenzo were not in that ship. Even some of them said that they were seen. Jessica and Lorenzo was seen in a gondola. And Antonio also, he certified the Duke that these two lovers were not in the ship of Bassanio. Salanio, I never heard a passion so confused, so strange, outrageous, and so variable as the dog Jew did utter in the streets. So when Shylock doesn't get hold of Lorenzo and Jessica, and he's naturally mad because Jessica has not just eloped with a Christian, she has taken bags full of ducats and also quite a few precious stones. So Shylock is really mad. So what did he do? He was in a confused condition. He didn't know what to do. So he kept on shouting through the street like a madman. And what did he shout? "My daughter, oh my ducats, oh my daughter, fled with a Christian, oh my Christian ducats. Justice, the law, my ducats and my daughter. A sealed bag, 2 sealed bags of ducats, of double ducats stolen from me by my daughter, and jewels, 2 stones, 2 rich and precious stones, stolen by my daughter. Justice, Find the girl. She had the stones upon her and the ducats. So Shylock, like a madman, he keeps on shouting through the streets about his stolen ducats. And who has stolen it? His daughter has stolen it. Not only that, she has stolen also rich, valuable stones. So he wants that these should be found. So justice, find the girl. So he wants that there should be a search for the girl and she should be brought back along with the ducats and the precious stones. So when he shouts in this way, what happens in the streets? The small boys, naughty boys, it's the habit of the boys to chase and tease the mad people. So why? All the boys in Venice follow him, crying, his stones, his daughter and his ducats. So all the boys in Venice, they follow him and they tease him. So the way he shouts, my ducats, my stones, they also repeat after him, crying his stone, his daughter and his ducats. So he is in a very vile mood. Let good Antonio look, he keep his day, or he shall pay for this. So Salanio and Salarino, being very close and good friends, dear friends of Antonio, they are worried about him. So they wish that Antonio should keep his day. What does it mean? That Antonio should pay back Shylock the amount which he had borrowed on the date, or rather before it or on exactly on that date, and not break the conditions of the bond. Otherwise he will have to suffer for this. He shall pay means he shall have to suffer for it. You know what the condition is, that if he fails to pay, what will he have to do? What will be the penalty? Be a pound of flesh. And there is hardly any chance of a person's survival when a pound of flesh is extracted from his body. So Antonio will have to pay dearly for it if he breaks the conditions of the bond. Salarino, marry. Whenever it is marry, I always tell you, marry doesn't mean to get married. Marry means buy, marry, a way of swearing. Well remembered. I reasoned with a Frenchman yesterday who told me in the narrow seas that part the French and English, there miscarried a vessel of our country richly fraught. I thought upon Antonio when he told me, and wished in silence that it were not his. So when Salanio says that Antonio should see that he can keep his day, then Salarino remembers something. So he says that the previous day, yesterday here means the previous day, Salarino had a talk with a Frenchman, and this Frenchman told that in the English Channel, that means the narrow seas which part England and France, that is the English Channel. So in the English Channel, a rich argosy or a rich ship had been found wrecked, full of rich loads, richly fraught. That means a ship carrying rich loads was found wrecked at the English Channel. So the moment Salarino heard of it, he remembered Antonio. Why? Because Antonio was a very rich businessman in Venice who had several argosies in several directions. So this thought suddenly came to his mind, is this ship Antonio's? But in silence he wished, oh God, please see that this ship doesn't belong to Antonio. Why? Because in recent times Antonio has been suffering quite a few losses. You were best to tell Antonio what you hear, yet do not suddenly, for it may grieve him. So Salanio also, he is concerned. So he says it's better you go and tell Antonio what you have heard from the French gentleman, but don't do it all of a sudden, because it might be a shock to him. Yes, you must have heard that often we are told, don't break a very happy or a very sad news all of a sudden, because many times unable to bear the happiness or the sadness, people die of a heart attack. A kinder gentleman treads not the earth. So you won't find a kinder gentleman walking on this earth. I saw Bassanio. So this is the farewell scene of Antonio and Bassanio before Bassanio leaves for Belmont. I saw Bassanio and Antonio part. Bassanio told him he would make some speed of his return. So Bassanio is assuring his friend. Bassanio knows Antonio is very sad. So what is he telling? He's telling, my friend, don't be worried. I will finish my business there as fast as I can and I will come back soon. So what does Antonio say? He's a very good friend. He answered, "Do not so. Slubber not business for my sake, Bassanio, but stay the very ripening of the time. And for the Jew's bond which he hath of me, let it not enter your mind of love. Be merry, and employ your chiefest thoughts to courtship and such fair ostents of love as shall conveniently become you there." So, Antonio is a very nice friend, and he knows that Bassanio is in a love mission. So he said that don't try to come back as soon as possible. Do not try to spoil the business for my sake, Bassanio. Stay as much time is required in order to attain your object. For the fulfillment of your object, stay that time, as much time as is needed. And regarding the bond, don't let it bother you. Don't, because you are in a mission of love. So don't let these things trouble you. So you should be happy. Don't get concerned or worried about the bond that has been signed to the Jew. Employ your chiefest thoughts to courtship and such fair ostents of love as shall conveniently become you there. So be happy. Let your thoughts be directed towards your love, and also to make fair displays of love, which will suit you there. And as he said this, and even there his eye being big with tears, turning his face, he put his hand behind him, and with affection wondrous sensible, he wrung Bassanio's hand, and so they parted. So, as he was saying all this, his eyes were filled with tears. He tried to hold the tears in his eyes, so his eyes became big. When you are desperately fighting to keep the tears in your eyes and not let them fall, you try to make your eyes big. This is what Antonio does. And what else does he do? He turns his face to the other side, turning his face so that Bassanio doesn't see the tears in his eyes. Why? Because it will dampen his happy spirit. And what does he do? He puts his hand behind. He doesn't do a front shake hand. Rather, he turns his face the other way and offers his hand. And in a very loving manner, with affection wondrous sensible, he wrung Bassanio's hand. He presses Bassanio's hand in a gesture of farewell. And so they parted. And this is how they parted. They said goodbye to each other. Salanio, I think he only loves the world for him. He means Antonio loves the world only because Bassanio is there. So Antonio is very fond of Bassanio. I pray thee, let us go and find him out and quicken his embraced heaviness with some delight or other. So Salanio says that, tells Salarino, that I request you, let's go there and find him out. Let's search him out and let us try to brighten up his sad spirit with some pleasant diversion. Let's do something to cheer him up and see that he gets rid of his sadness. Do we so? So Salarino also agrees. Yeah, let's do so. So this is quite a small scene. It only tells you what has happened in the middle, that after the elopement of Jessica and Lorenzo, how has Shylock reacted to it? So it is as if a fill-in gap. We are told how Shylock has reacted to it, and another bad news is given that it could be Antonio's ship which has been wrecked in the English Channel, and the two friends are quite worried. So this makes us prepared that something bad is going to happen to Antonio's business. Normally it's a very easy scene, but I have got a number of requests regarding Act 2 Scene 1. So I have explained it. It's a small scene, as you have already seen. So I don't think there is any more problem. If you still have, I have told you the comment box is there. So you can, but often I have found that none of you have any problems once I have explained it, because after that I always get compliments. So thank you for all your compliments. It makes me stronger, gives me more, strength and more longings to carry on with this job which I am doing for you all. So best of luck. Have a good time. Goodbye.